now, once again, the great Rose Namajunas. There she is. Hello, Rose. How are you?
Hey, I'm good.
Thank you for coming back. Congratulations. And by the way, happy birthday to your grandmother.
Oh, thank you so much.
So
Yeah, she's 87
she's a
now.
cancer baby too.
Yes.
I love
Yeah.
it. All the good people are
Yep.
cancer babies. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's birthday month right now. So,
Well, thank you for giving us a few minutes. We won't keep you too long. Congrats on the win. And, we talked to you on Wednesday about just being in Denver and adopted hometown. You love it. Now the whole experience has come and gone. Was this one of your more enjoyable fight weeks, getting to fight so close to home?
yeah, I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much. But just because, um, yeah, I just was worried about maybe being distracted or too comfortable or just, yeah, like I said, being distracted or something with maybe people always trying to get my attention or something. But it was really smooth. I mean, my family and friends are very supportive and just down for whatever I needed, and everything kind of just, yeah, God just like took care of everything. Everything was very, actually was really for this fight. I've never had such a like distaste for like food during fight week, like any type of like no matter what restaurant it was, it's just like or even like the food that the UFC was giving us, nothing tasted good. So I was able to eat grandma's cooking, and that really came in handy for sure.
Why do you think that was?
I don't know. I mean, you know me, I'm like really spiritual, so I don't know if it's like maybe just I mean, because I really believe like, you put your love into food and well out here I this is just I mean, I love Denver, I love Colorado, but I grew up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where the food there is just amazing. There's all kinds of different cultures and stuff. So maybe I just have a really high standard for quality of food. I love cooking. And so yeah, I think the food's kind of whack out here in general, but so that's, that's the only one bad thing I would say about living out here. But yeah, I think it's just I don't know. I think that's the main thing, or maybe it's just like people just don't know how to put the love into the food, or maybe it's just nowadays I mean, you see on the news all the time that, there's a bunch of struggles with like farming and things like that. And um, I think also our food quality of food, which is all the genetically modified stuff, like it's getting more and more fake and processed as scarcity becomes a thing. So yeah, that's why like gardening is so important to me and cooking at home and things like that. So now going into my next fight, that's going to be a big focus of my training is like really preparing meals to bring with me, like dehydrating foods or
Hmm.
like canning and like fermenting and things like I'm going to come up with a whole system. And
Wow.
actually I've been meaning to. I wanted to do that for this last fight. But it was such a quick turnaround that I couldn't really have that time to cuz preparing food definitely like especially good food takes a lot of time and thought and preparation. So and just like practice. So I'm going to really focus on that going forward.
Will you do that yourself or will you have someone help you with that? Like, is this all from your
Well,
mind?
yeah, grandma for sure. I mean,
Ah,
she's like, we call it Babu Kitchen over here.
that's
Babu
amazing.
Restaurant over here. So but yeah, she's obviously always helping me with the food, but I also it's kind of fun. It's gonna be a combination of me and her, maybe my mom or something like that, and just all of maybe my whole family just kind of come up with we all like different things and contribute different things. And I actually I actually invested in building out a separate kitchen space in my basement before this fight because sometimes, like me and my grandma, like even though she's the best at cooking, but she kind of takes over the kitchen. So it's like,
Yes.
and I can't tell her to like what to do or like get off my way. So it's like I just like nah, I need my separate space too to do my own thing as well because I like different things as
Right,
well.
right, right.
So. But as far as like soups and like anything Lithuanian, she has like super down packed.
Wasn't it nice to be done with the fight and not have to go to the airport and do all that? Like, just go home?
Yeah, that was probably the best part. Yeah, that was super cool because all my friend like my team could just come here and actually it's funny my grandma just whipped up some food real quick for all
Wow.
of us and
After the
yeah, it
fight,
was
she
it was a
wasn't
good time.
sleeping?
She was, but then she woke up,
Oh my gosh. What
and
a
then and
gangster.
she Yeah, she was nervous, she was worried, but,
She
yeah, it
didn't
was
watch it
good. She was in
live.
heaven too. I think she did. Yeah, I think she was I think, yeah, she did. That was the first time she ever watched it live, because usually she always waits till it's over to know what happens,
Yeah,
and then she'll watch it later, because, yeah, she's very always worried about that. She doesn't want me to fight
right.
anymore, since she never wanted me to fight.
Does she try to
Yeah.
actively convince you to stop fighting now?
Oh, all the time. She just told me, like,
Uh,
she just was talking to me
uh,
about that.
like
Like,
enough already.
yeah. Huh?
She's like, enough already. Let's be done with
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
For sure.
well, after that performance, I don't think the
Mhm.
end is near. That was very, very impressive. And by the way,
Yeah.
what was so nice about it? I don't know if you noticed or cared really. I loved the pop, as they say, the crowd reaction when you came out. I loved the love that they
Yeah.
showed you, because I feel like the last couple, whether it's
Yeah.
I don't know, post the Carla fight or whatever, it just wasn't there, and it felt like the old days. It felt like you were getting the respect and love that you deserved and had earned. Did you notice that? Did that
Yeah.
make you feel good?
Yeah, I got goosebumps walking out. It was like, it wasn't quite as loud as Jacksonville, but it was like really close. And yeah, that crowd was like insane. But they were both very electric, and uh yeah, like I said, I was having goosebumps walking out. That was a definitely goes in my like top favorite walkouts. Yeah.
How did you feel about the performance? Your performance? Were you happy with it?
Yeah, I was. I there's certain things, obviously, like, I know I could do better, and I know I'm just gonna keep improving, but I was really happy to be able to, because I was a little bummed my last fight, where even though I won, but I didn't have the speed. I was dealing with some injuries and stuff, so I was like a little bit like frustrated, because I felt like I had really worked on a bunch of things I wasn't able to like show. Um, and I felt like I was able to do that this time. Obviously, I wanted to finish. I feel like I jumped on top of her and helped her recover. So I was like, I feel like I could have finished it in the first, and I sort of blew that opportunity. And then I would say, looking like after rewatching it, I could have been a little bit more active towards the end. Um, a lot of that. So there's stuff to improve, because with all that, that's why I didn't, going into the fight. My plan wasn't to wrestle that much. Only just like if she was trying to wrestle me, like reverse a position, or just like show her a quick flash of wrestling. But it was so successful that I was like, okay, and it was very, very useful. So um, I think, yeah, I'm going to really focus on being able to do that while still maintaining that same pop and speed that I had in the first round, but in those later rounds. But I also was like already up, so I was like, okay. And then I knew she was trying to make it a little more chaotic and try to point at the ground. You know what I mean? Like, even though nothing really was like, even though it was like kind of making contact, nothing was landing like super clean. Um, but I still, yeah, I would have liked to have put a little bit more output. So it's just more stuff to improve on, But overall, I was very happy with my performance. We basically did pretty much everything that we worked on.
Wow. But just
Yeah.
a little bit more wrestling, and was that perhaps because wrestling is known to be her strength, and you weren't expecting to kind of fight fire with fire, but it was working so well. So did that surprise you?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my wrestling, I've been working on my grappling and wrestling like a ton. For a long time. And just from watching her fights and stuff, it's like I know that's where her strong suit is. I mean, she's gotten better at her striking, but that's just where she feels comfortable, even if she's maybe she's just really good at like popping right back up. So if I were to take her down or something, it's like, okay, don't like focus so much on just trying to like hold her or ground and pound, like just kind of let her spend her energy exploding back up and then take her down again later, which I kind of did that, but I just didn't expect to be able to just like full mount her and like just whatever and it be so kind of easy. Um uh I tried to so, yeah, I tried to tell my grandma like, don't do nothing in the kitchen.
Oh, she can do whatever she wants. Is she cooking right now?
Yeah. Yeah, or maybe that was my mom. I don't know. I was just like, wait till after my interview.
Oh, I'm
But
sorry.
anyway,
Well, because you feel like you're
yeah,
missing
no, it's
out.
okay. No, because I don't want like all this noise and
Oh
distraction.
no,
But
all
anyway,
good, all
it's
good.
all good. Um, but anyway, so yeah, I forgot what I was saying, but yeah, just um, I don't know. Yeah.
Obviously, a much talked about moment, the eyelashes.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah,
did
that's
you
crazy.
did you notice that? Like, did you notice while it was
I
happening?
noticed something was up with her. I noticed something was up with her eye. I didn't see how like
It
the
flew.
camera literally
Yeah.
captured it like phew. Like you can't make that stuff up. That's just like God's got a sense of humor, man. That is like classic stuff. Like that is bless her heart. You know what I mean?
Would you
Because
ever do
man, like
that?
I
Would you
don't,
ever consider doing
huh?
that? Would you ever consider
I
fighting?
don't even wear fake eyelashes like for like
Yeah.
period. Like
Yeah.
because they so rest in peace, Susie. Like she always was like the one thing she always did my makeup great, but she always was trying to make me wear like she would always be like, "No, you gotta wear these eyelashes,"
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Girl, I can't do that. Like, I know it looks good or whatever, but like, it makes me so tired. Like, I literally like my eyelids just close when I wear those things, and it's just nah, I'm not doing it." So we like that was the battle between me and her for a
Oh
long
man.
time, you know. But yeah, rest in peace. But yeah, it's just crazy because so yeah, I would never do that.
I'm
But I mean, it's a thing now, so it's like I'm curious to see like she almost has to like I mean it's dangerous. I would not recommend her wearing it, but it's almost like now don't you gotta wear them? Like,
I'm just
no
surprised that the
matter what.
commissions would allow it though, because like, what if it
I
gets in
think
your
so
eye,
too.
right?
100%. No, that's serious. Like, that's the one thing that I've always been very. I mean, I've had eye injuries, sort of, you know, and so that's something that I'm always like. I'm always routinely checking my eyes and stuff. Like, that's the one thing with the fight game that teeth and eyes, I think, are like, and the nose too. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Um, well, that was a very memorable moment, and obviously it
Mhm.
was there was a lot of hair talk this weekend. What happened on
Yeah,
Friday, and I heard you in the post fight press conference call it suspicious, and I just wanted to
yeah.
ask you: is the suspicious part for you the fact that there was a discrepancy with the scale?
The
Like,
scale, yeah, it
okay,
wasn't her hair. Like I knew she handed off her hair.
okay,
Like I knew that part. It was just also like the timing and and maybe we weren't given all the information, but like how much weight she had to cut when we were told, how much time was left. There was like a bunch of details like that. I was like, wait, how did she drop 2 pounds in like such a short amount of time from when they told us that she was I think she was even like 2.5 pounds with like an hour left or something.
oh
I have to
wow,
like go back and remember like all the details, but the main thing was the scale that they bring us to like in the workout room where basically it's like it's supposed to be matched up to the official scale and they almost that's like they're like okay you're on this weight like and they write it down and before they make sure you're on weight before you go on the scale. And so the fact that it was a pound difference or so, and then multiple fighters confirmed that same thing, that was weird, especially because I was a little bit over at first on that scale. So I went back and cut a little bit more. So had I known that the official scale would have been off from that scale about a pound, I wouldn't have went back and cut that. So it wasn't just on her end that I was like a little bit like, but then also for myself, like that was inconvenient for me as well. Because like then what's the point of even checking that scale? Like why wouldn't I just get
right,
on use my scale and then go on the official scale? So that was number one. Then number two, um, when she was on the scale and she like gave her hair back or whatever, and then they said she was 126.5, and then Heidi was like, still? And then somebody, I don't know if it was the guy, doing the scale or somebody in the background said, blow out all your air. And then literally like then he was like, oh, 126, like he switched it from 126.5 to 126. And then as soon as he said 126, he like
yeah,
swiped the thing like so you couldn't see and the thing didn't move.
yeah.
So I was like, I don't you know what I mean? Like what happened there, I don't know. You know what I mean? To me it didn't really matter. Like I was a little bit upset about that at the time, especially because like I said, I had to go back and cut a little bit
Right.
more. But I was like, I mean, there's nothing I could do about it right now. I just gotta focus on. I was like, all the truth is gonna come out in the fight. Doesn't matter what's going on right now.
What would you have done if she just ended up being 126 and a half? Would you have
Yeah,
kept the fight on?
no, it's all good. I
Yeah.
know and that's another thing too. Is like, I mean, I will give her credit for coming. She was supposed to make weight a week later, and
Mhm.
she's a bigger girl, so I understand that could play into it. And she's at high altitude, so maybe there's something dealing with that. So I wasn't sweating the weight necessarily. It was just don't act like something like if she wasn't on weight, then like we have to know that.
Mhm.
So but it was just the dishonesty that I felt like that's what got me. But maybe it could be explained to me. So that's why I'm like, but to me that was just very weird. Yeah.
This new thing that some commissions are doing where they get the thing and then they swipe it and don't even like,
Yeah.
why do they do that? Even while the person stands there and poses, keep it so the world can see. What are you
So we
moving?
can see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know why they
Yeah.
do that so quickly. Like, no,
Yeah.
the thing hasn't even that little thing hasn't even rested yet. I'm not saying for this particular one,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
it happened a bunch of times where the thing hasn't even
Yeah.
stopped and they're like, up, boom, boom, and they move it, and it just feels.
Yeah.
Would you
And
prefer?
maybe they're just doing so many that they're just like whatever,
Yeah.
but it's still, but with everything surrounding it, I was like, what I mean? Like, what's going on?
Yes.
But
Yes.
it is what it is. I was just happy she stepped up to the plate and fought, and then we had the fight.
By the way, before you came on, we had Juliana Pena in studio, and she mentioned something that pertained to you, and she actually asked me to get your thoughts on it. She
Mm,
showed me like a series of photos where she's got this whole thing with Raquel Pennington, and her thing is
mm.
that, her words, not mine, she called Raquel a snake in the grass, like a backstabber.
Oh,
They're supposed to fight and all this.
okay.
And then she showed us two pictures of Raquel with you, training with you, and then she posted, I guess, something in support of Tracy this past week. And she's like, look, she's
Okay.
friends with Rose, and then she's posting something. And then I was like, well, maybe she trained with Rose like 5 years ago, and now she's friends. Who knows? Like, things change, people change. And so she's like, ask Rose what she thinks
Oh,
about this. Ask Rose. So,
yeah. Oh, wait, so she's saying like, what do I think about Raquel training with me? And then she was like in a picture with Tracy.
and
Yeah. So okay, that's understandable. However, I already talked to Raquel about that because she notified me that Tracy. I've been knowing Raquel for a long time, but she hit me up saying, "Guess what else just happened? Like Tracy hit me up to train with me or whatever." And so I was like, "Oh well, we talked about it. Like, do you know her? Like, or what's going on? Like." And so we had a whole conversation. She was like, "No, she just kind of knows somebody through somebody else that I know or whatever." And I was like, "Okay, well, I was like, I mean, if it puts you in a weird spot, like I don't really care. It's like, I mean, we all. I was like, if there's certain people, I would be like, hey,
yeah,
or maybe there's like a few people or whatever. But with Tracy, it's like, I mean, it's such a short notice. I was like, I mean, if you want to train with her, you can. If you don't, like, to me, it doesn't really matter. I was like, I mean, I fought Tisha. I also trained with Tisha. I fought her twice,
yeah.
and and so yeah, like certain situations, like it's just the way you go about it. If you communicate, it's all good. I understand that some people are weird about that, but to me, it's like it's such a small world in MMA, and I mean, like for example, like there's just certain people that I have a lot of respect for. And we can fight and we can train and we can still be cool. And it's all about being like forward and honest. So yeah, I get how she would look at that and be like, see,
Okay.
but it's all good. I mean, I was like, and plus there's not even anything that, even if you were like, all right, I'm gonna tell you something about Rose. Like, there's nothing you could say that's gonna change the result. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, what you're gonna tell her that I'm really good. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's all good. So yeah, we talked about it, and
Okay.
yeah.
See, I'm glad we got your side
Hmm.
of it. Juliana's just trying to stir the
Yeah.
pot. I mean, that's kind of,
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
just
It's okay.
instigating. It's all good.
That's why they get to fight, though.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And so for you, realistically, what do you think? What do you think happens now? With the, I know you said title shot. Do you think that's realistic? Have you been told that? Is it possible, or do you think it's someone else? What are you feeling as far as what's next?
I think that I haven't been told nothing yet. The title shot, I think, is a possibility. Um, and it is something that, yeah, it's just kind of like obviously to be opportunity because there's people in line, right? There's Manon and obviously Valentina, and I think it's still not official yet, right?
Right, right.
Yeah. So like I'll just be waiting in the queue, or I guess yeah, my dream fight right now would be Menon uh rematch in Lithuania because I fought her in Paris when broke my pinky right away. And I would love that and I felt like it was very competitive with one hand. So but I understand she does deserve a title shot as well. Um so that's what I want. But I have really enjoyed staying very like doing this quick turnaround. I do want to take a little bit of time to do some stuff. So, but I'll also be ready if something like if a good opportunity pops up too. Yeah.
If they called you and said like we need you for the Sphere card, would you do it? That's in 2 months.
Yeah.
You would do it.
Yeah. For sure.
Worth it. Title shot, such a big
Yeah.
card, all
Yeah.
that
This
stuff.
is a great opportunity, like hard to pass up for
Yeah.
sure.
By the way, is there a venue in Lithuania that would be possible for a UFC event? Have you looked into this?
Yeah. Well, and that's where I got the idea from because when I did my premiere for the documentary out there, I think it was 2 years ago or 1 year. Um, we were at the Žalgiris basketball game out there. It's the arena out there.
Yeah.
I think it holds like 20,000 people and super hype, like so much energy. It was a really like the best basketball game ever.
Yeah.
And it was and after the game we were up in the little suite area and we're just, talking to, the producer of the film and then, some of the other people that was there and we all just kind of like got quiet for a second. The arena was empty. It was just us kind of like up in the suite and then we were like, are y'all thinking what I'm thinking? And
Yeah.
then everybody kind of had the same thought all at once. Like we could just see the octagon down there, and like that would be so cool.
Oh man, that would be cool. And you
Yeah.
have earned that as well. I
Mhm.
hope you get that opportunity before it's all said and done.
Yeah.
So let's see how it all plays out. And by the way, a nice tribute to Nick Diaz at the end of the
I
fight
know.
there. Well, I don't know if you were trying to
Funny.
do
She
that.
tried to do the Max Holloway.
Yes,
I had
yes.
to do the I had to do the Nick Diaz.
Yes, yes. Were you
Yeah.
actually doing the Nick Diaz when you did that, or?
No, but maybe that was just subconsciously in the back of my mind. Like it just maybe came out and then because I mean obviously I've seen that.
Yeah.
So I wasn't thinking like, oh, let me do the Nick Diaz in this moment, but it's just, I guess, just came out, because it was more so like, because she wanted me to come there and stand in one spot and bang, and I was like, okay, I'll do that, but you got to come to this
Yeah,
spot first,
yeah.
though. I'll say, so that's why I was like,
Yeah.
and then it was like, and then she did start to come forward, so I like kind of turned a little bit, and it was like, I'm gonna hit you with a spinning kick or something.
By the way, one
But
last
yeah, and then
question.
she just laughed. So.
One last thing. Saturday was a crazy night
Mhm.
in the world after what happened to Donald Trump. Were you aware of any of
Yeah.
that, or did you only find out afterwards?
Man, I'm gonna have to give my manager Brian a little shit here. But he was we were doing our little shakeout like the day of the fight. And so we do like a little workout before going to the arena. So we were in the little workout room and I'm like flowing. I'm like, okay, just trying to control. It's a very tense, like the shakeout's always like a very tense moment. And because you're just trying to get all your emotions under control and like, okay, we're getting ready to do the thing. And he comes to it and he's just sitting there. Like, so I'm like pacing, I'm like doing my circles and like breathing and like in between sets. And then out of nowhere, he's just like, Trump got shot.
Uh,
And I was like, and we were like, the room just got really quiet. Like, cause of course, like that, what, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, that's crazy. Um, but it just blurted out of him. And even like, he even said as he was saying it, he was like, no,
Yeah.
why would I do that? Because like, that's definitely not something you want to be. You never want to think about that, but that definitely was not the right time to say that, especially because even like on fight day, it's like it doesn't matter if there's meteors falling from the sky. It's like you got to be
Yeah, yeah.
laser focused in, and so that's always a hard thing because usually like a lot of my fights over the years, I've had something come up where it's just a distraction, like in the worst time ever. Like when I fought Joanna, for example,
Yeah.
like the the truck that the terrorist attack happened, like, and we were supposed to be there and stuff. And so it was just like, what? So, and then we even told, and same similar thing where the driver was like, hey, did you guys hear about that truck accident? Pat's like, no, 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 don't say
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
don't put that into her head right now. We ain't trying to think about that. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
but yeah, it's kind of the same thing. But we were sort of able to like kind of, you know, yeah, like not make fun of it because obviously it's a very
Block it
traumatic
out.
thing,
Yeah.
but like sort of, yeah, like kind of like, all right, don't do that again. You know?
Definitely.
Yeah,
Well, all's well
yeah,
that ends well for you. Congratulations. Great stuff. Looking forward to what's next, and enjoy your time with your family, the cooking, the celebrations, the birthday celebrations. Well done. Enjoy it all. Thank you,
yeah.
Rose.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.